Welcome everybody to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Got a very special show for today. Doing a little collab with my buddy Bob. We're going to be talking about a radio brand called Rugged Radio. And maybe a couple problematic things along the way. And Bob has the audio, I can hear him. Waiting for you guys to roll on in here. Thanks so much for joining us on this Friday. Hopefully you were able to see my video I posted yesterday on the FT3DR. It's out, and it's pretty cool. All right. Let me switch on over to me here. Hey, what's up, everybody, again? Thanks for joining us on the Ham Radio Crash Course. A very special show for today. Hopefully you enjoy it. We'll be taking questions, but only in the chat room. We're not going to do call-ins today. Note, we will be having our Discord after chat as always. And today it'll be after the stream. I'll be live on Twitch and on Discord. The link is in the description if you want to join us on Discord. Fun group of people, party line. Last time I think we had 30-something people all talking and chatting. Very cool. A lot of ham radio discussions, lots of ham radio questions. So join us over there. And you don't have to talk. You can just join the chat and see the images and all the stuff we post. Lots of fun. And Ethan's on the admin button there. I appreciate that, Ethan. Thank you very much. And today, Ethan, we gave away Ethan gave away his hotspot that he so generously donated. We have a winner. It's posted on the Ham Radio Crash Course right now. It's Ray, KN4IHZ. So congratulations to Ray. We'll be in contact. Likely Ethan will be in contact. So thanks for joining, everybody. That was for a hotspot that Ethan is custom building. So very cool. Thank you for doing that. Okay, so just a couple of quick notes of news before we get on through here. Reminder that we do have the HRCC Wires X room up and running. Again, thanks Ethan for making that possible. So if you have Wires X, maybe with your new FT3DR that you purchased this week, check it out. Quirky QRP is doing a $5 off coupon. They are back from their vacation hiatus, so if you do Quirky QRP HRCC at checkout, $5 off, which is very cool. And Ham's getting married. I'm going to go ahead and show this, even though we're going to have Bob. Well, I'll wait to show that in a second. Let's see. Ham's getting married. Right. So we got Ham's getting married, KM6PRC and KM6PRA will have a live wedding next Saturday, August 17th at 9 a.m. I'll be streaming it on this channel. It should be a lot of fun. We're going to have some very quirky things going on for ham radio. And it is at the HRO, so that's going to be super, super cool. Anyway, what are we talking about? To dive right into the interview. Well, I've got Bob. You know Bob, K6UDA. Should be linked in the description if you're not following him. Make sure to do that. Bob is not only a luminary of the YouTube ham radio community, but he's also prolific in motorsports. He used to run, and he'll talk more in detail. I don't want to steal any of his thunder because he's going to know a lot more than me. But here's Bob and his car actually. I think that's his on the right there, and probably a buddy on the left. But yeah, Bob has been in drag racing or used to do drag racing for quite a while. So he's on here to talk about basic race radios and what they use in races, not just the crew, but people that are at the event and listening. And so we're going to talk about that, and a company that's selling radios that can be maybe a bit problematic. So without further ado, hey Bob, how's it going?
Hey there, Josh. How you doing?
Thanks
for having me on your big screen tonight.
Yeah, we got you on the big screen. We'll switch over to the website as we go through the web in a little bit. But so, Bob, you got your racing shirt on right there. That's a team that you were running, or that's your own race brand?
This was my race team that I spent more money than I should have, than any sane person should ever spend money on. Yeah, it's I used to drag race. I was a professional drag racer, or semi-professional. Did that for many years, and then I got serious about it. Went into the pro gas circuit, and finally we went out on top after we won a national championship. We decided to take a year off, and that year turned into 2 and 3, and I got heavily into ham radio, and that's why I can afford ham radios now.
Okay, gotcha. So you've got a radio in front of you. What is that radio?
This is a standard little actual Motorola radio. It is this is programmed up for their commercial itinerant uh, frequencies, and I think I actually do have two FRS frequencies in here, so different teams could communicate with each other on an FRS frequency if we didn't have the same itinerant frequencies that were assigned to us and licensed to us.
Right. So we talked a little bit about this beforehand. In fact, guys, this whole video kind of started a couple of months ago when we were on a Discord after chat and we were talking about this radio we stumbled upon. So, Bob, you paid someone, a coordinator, to help you find a frequency to use when racing. Is that right?
I did. That's in the commercial world. I tried to apply for some itinerant frequencies because we travel around. We traveled all over the Western United States racing. So we might be in LA one weekend and Firebird Raceway in Idaho the next weekend. And you need to have a set of frequencies that you can use legally.
Right.
So I actually tried to get a set of frequencies assigned to me and get a license. And the FCC said, go check with a frequency coordinator, which charged me $1,000 to fill out the paperwork and get 3 channels assigned to me.
Hey, Bob, sorry to ask, is there a door you can maybe close? It sounds like a lot of background chatter. We're picking up some background. Sorry about that.
Let me go do that.
Sorry. You got a good mic. It's picking up everything. So basically, Bob knows what's going on as far as using radios in a motorsport environment for drag racing, I'm assuming also when four-wheeling. And we stumbled on this brand, Rugged Radio. And I was introduced to Rugged Radio by a subscriber on YouTube that was basically saying, have you heard of these Rugged radios? And I just thought he meant a radio at which was rugged, which there's a lot of Rugged radios. But no, this is a branded radio that's basically sold to the public, and we're not going to bait it any longer. We're going to talk about it right now. Let's just switch over to the website. So here we go. All right, Bob, we're looking at we're looking at the ham radio outlet. Now we're looking at Rugged Radio. So we're looking at the Rugged Radio RH5R. And immediately, some of you may be automatically think, hey, this radio looks familiar to me. It looks very much like a Baofeng, right? So the part that kind of shocked Bob and I is this price tag, which is $85, right, Bob?
And that isn't even the half of it. When you dive into this website, they have a package for $579.
Right. So basically, what would you say? What is Rugged Radio? What is their brand? Like, what do they do?
Rugged Radios, basically, what they're selling is a Baofeng UV5R.
Right.
And they're pre-programming it with the same itinerant frequencies that I paid thousands of dollars to get licensed from the FCC so I could run around. And they're making a killing selling these radios to race fans, right, off-roaders, and people starting out in the motorsports world so they can cheaply get in and do what we were doing at a huge cost.
Right.
So they're taking advantage of people.
Right. So help me out. So you have a race event. There's all kinds of different crews, actual race teams need their own special frequencies to communicate on, and they work with an FCC coordinator. That coordinator finds them a frequency that won't get stepped on by other people, and there's a cost to that. There's a permitting fee and a coordination fee. As you said, it was over $1,000. And so these frequencies then, enthusiasts, spectators, will often program them into radios, right?
They do. They're not programming them in because most of them have absolutely no knowledge of what the radio does. they kind of think of it as a scanner, but then they hit the little PTT button,
Right.
and we can hear them.
Right. So they have these privately listed frequencies, or I don't want to say private, but they're FCC registered business frequencies, basically, that have been programmed into these radios. And we'll show you the frequency list here shortly. The first radio we're showing you is that RH5R, and that's the one that's basically a Baofeng, right, for $85. Real quickly, I'll go to another one of the ones they have. So that's the helmet system. There we go. Complete kits with radio. So we're talking $1,400 for a 60-watt, which is basically a Chinese radio, 2 headsets, and that bottom box is a volume control, right, Bob, for the parties in the radio, in the cab, or this is kind of like an off-road deal, right?
Yeah, this is really geared toward the off-road people.
Mm-hmm. So, why do we care about this per se? What would you say is the reason, as ham radio operators, that we should worry about this?
Okay, as ham radio operators, I say this is a problem, number one, because Rugged Radios is selling a Baofeng
basically.
Well, it is a Baofeng. I mean, they've rebranded it. They painted it blue.
Right.
And that's really the only difference. You could go in with Chirp, and you could reprogram the thing and put ham radio frequencies in.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you're handing these things out, and they're selling these to non-licensed people,
right,
who then have no idea that they're breaking regulations, breaking laws,
mm-hmm.
and possibly interfering with the safe operation of a sanctioned race. When I was going 150 to 200 miles an hour inside of 7 seconds,
right.
I need to be able to, excuse me, I need to be able to hear from my crew chief.
Right.
And if he needs to tell me, back off, get on the brakes, do something, pull the chute, because I'm not seeing something in the other lane, I need to be able to hear him. I don't want to hear somebody yelling at Johnny across the stands.
Right. So let me go back to the blue one. So somebody mentioned something about blue. What's the blue channel or blue frequency? Do you know what that means?
I don't.
Is that a race frequency? I'm not familiar with. So going back here, we're looking at the blue radio. I got sidetracked because I was thinking about blue all of a sudden. So this radio comes pre-programmed, and basically it has the race frequencies or the ones that are known to the Rugged Radio team. Again, they're programming them. I don't know how they do it. I'm assuming there's somebody with a computer that just is clicking the button and loading images on. But it also has FRS and GMRS frequencies embedded in this too, right?
Yes. Yeah, they do that on a regular basis, and that's basically so, the off-roaders that are buying these systems, they could talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very big. Since I've become involved in off-road, in jeeping and off-road, and I'm really starting to get involved now in like King of the Hammers kind of stuff.
Right.
Because once an adrenaline junkie, always an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah. So King of the Hammers is an off-road event, right? Is it a hill climb or a bouldering type of thing?
King of the Hammers is probably the most insane racing I have ever seen in my life. It is a combination of rock crawling, high speed, 100 miles an hour desert racing, flat out turns, and just it is insane. Mm. And out of 100 people that start, maybe 25 finish.
Oh wow! It's like the Iron Man of off-road racing.
It really is. So and it's right down in your neck of the woods, my friend.
Where is it?
It's in Johnson Valley.
I'm not familiar with where that is.
Uh, it's about 50 miles north or no southeast of Palm Springs.
Oh, yeah, that is close to me. Are you going to
Yeah.
come down? Let me know if you're going down. I'll ride out for that.
It happens. King of the Hammers happens 2 weeks after Quartzsite, Arizona,
Hmm.
after Quartz Fest,
Hmm.
and I go down to Quartz Fest every year. I wanted to go to the Hammers this year, but it just wasn't in the cards. Had too much to do, so I watched it on TV.
You just went flying. There we go. We got you sorted out. I don't know what happened. Okay, so we're looking at the blue, the standard RH5R, and the first thing I did, and this is actually what started this whole conversation, is I went all over this website, and there's nothing that mentions licensing. I had to take another link to get to it, and I'll show you what that is. Down here in this download quick start guide, if you click it, you get a very simple, and this is the user manual for this radio, the Baofeng, right? Basically just a Baofeng UV5R, basic controls, very little, and then at the bottom, in very fine print, extremely tiny print, I'll read it because I don't even know that the stream can handle it. FCC licensing information. This FCC certified two-way radio operates on radio frequencies that are regulated by the Federal Communications Commission. To transmit on these frequencies, you are required to have a license. For questions regarding licensing, we recommend you contact Forest Industry Telecommunication, or FIT, and then they have a website and a number. So you're basically all the way down on this page, which is only one page, so it's not all the way down, but it's nowhere mentioned on their main site. Which, again, this is a wide-banded amateur radio, as well as an FRS radio, GMRS radio, and business band radio, and they mention it nowhere.
Baofeng.
So Baofeng, yeah, Baofeng Life. So that bother. Yeah, somebody asked vodka and cran, Bob. I think that is a true statement.
Yes, it is.
I'll mention it too. I have the Stone Woot Stout today. That's what I'm drinking, which is a collab they do every year. This is the 2019. But so the lack of the licensing information bothers me. You're probably, man, you keep jumping around. You're not doing it. It's on my end. I know it's not. I know it's not you. But that's what bothers me about this is they're selling pre-programmed radios that are basically no mention of getting licensed on the website. Right?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And Forest Industries that they're talking about, please contact them. That's a frequency coordinator.
Right.
So, basically they're saying, hey, if you really want to operate this thing legally, go pay $1,000 on top of the $85 that you just spent for the radio.
Right. So we've got this very interesting situation, right? I'm sure you all know there's actually been a rehashing of the hallowed ground of Baofeng hate videos that have been popping up on YouTube. But we're coming up quickly to the quote-unquote Baofeng ban. September is the month in which basically companies are going to have to stop selling Baofengs. Unless they modify them to be to meet the FCC requirements. Right now, this radio is wide open, right? It has business channels, FRS, GMRS channels loaded. I did look, and I didn't see any specific amateur radio channels, but they do kind of get close to it. And I believe it doesn't have... Is this a VA... Does it have a VFO memory lockout? Do you know?
In software they do.
Okay.
So they could program them to be locked out of commercial band, but if you unlock it, it'll go everywhere.
Okay. Is that...
and I never saw anything on that website that said this is part 90 type accepted.
Right.
I never saw that.
And I'm looking through it right now, and I don't see it. If we go, these are all just add-ons.
Now, if they got Part 90 certification on a Baofeng,
mm-hmm.
I'd say all the Baofeng manufacturers or Baofeng should get Part 90 certification and just sell them as commercial radios.
Right. And that's also an interesting point. Going back to the the guide there, it's basically saying this is a FCC certified two-way radio, which I don't think is the case for all the frequencies that it has loaded on it. And why don't I just show that right now? So these are the frequency spaces that this radio operates on. And let's slide that over a little bit, just over Bob's shoulder. So do these names look familiar to you? There's BF. Oh, it's BF Goodrich, right? Network, Checkers, Fair, Yokohama, Rugged Relay, right? So Checkers, Yokohama, I'm assuming that's Yokohama, the tire company, right?
Yeah, these are all the major manufacturers and their race teams. Basically, they're programmed in. A lot of that stuff is programmed in for NASCAR because obviously NASCAR is like the biggest spectator sport around.
Right. So let's see. Let's go back over here. So the one thing that jumped out to me when we first started talking about this was I was thinking to myself, how is this really different than a Baofeng, right? And, well, first, what do you think? How is this different than a Baofeng? Just like go on Amazon, buy a Baofeng.
This is really different from a Baofeng because I could go on Amazon and buy a Baofeng for $30.
Well,
and I can't go buy one of these for $30.
Aside from the price, right? What would make this different in your eyes than like getting a Baofeng?
It's blue. It's blue, and I really do like blue. It's programmed for. It comes pre-programmed with all of these frequencies for all these race teams. Now, the color codes are probably not programmed in, and a lot of these frequencies, like my frequencies, I've got like little subcodes, and we've got them all written down on the bottom of the radios.
Right.
But so some people wouldn't be able to get in, but all you have to do is scan the thing and find the codes when we're transmitting, and all of a sudden now, hey, I want to talk to John Force.
Yeah. I want to hear him screaming as he's going down the run there, as he's doing the quarter mile. So one of the things that jumped out to me on this was when you order a Baofeng, like you, the person maybe that's watching this. By the way, we have 287 people watching right now. That's amazing. Thank you so much. And Bobby just went flying on me again. I don't know how to lock down your. I'm trying to lock your video down, and I don't know why it keeps jumping on me. Every time I look over, you've popped up again. So when you go on Amazon and you buy a Baofeng, it's kind of like your own responsibility. You get it, it comes. I believe and this could be bad in a different way, but it could also be bad. There's like 10 channels programmed, and there's really no rhyme or reason because China don't know frequency space in the United States. I guess they could, but they probably don't look it up. In this case, this is a branded radio supported by a company that's trying to sell you a race package, and they're loading it with frequencies that technically not legal. You know what I mean? So, and again, legal to use on this radio, right? GMRS, and then there's no FRS, which is probably good, but also these business frequencies, right? For these race frequencies, technically it's not lawful to use because you haven't been authorized to do so by the companies that own that permit, right?
Right.
So that's kind of the difference to me when it comes to Baofengs versus these radios, and that was the thing that kind of jumped out at me because it's kind of an interesting world we live in. On one hand, you have the Chinese that are producing all the Baofeng radios, and then you have a company that's taking them and trying to create a product. And by the way, I don't fault them at all for trying to make this work. I don't fault them in trying to provide a product that obviously people want, right? They want the ability to communicate. But what I do fault them is that you're not really clearly stating up front that, hey, some of these channels could get you in trouble. You know what I mean?
No, they just don't even tell these people that. And, rugged radios started out along with race radios. They were renting radios at the tracks. So you could rent the radio for, I think, 15 or 20 bucks for the day, and you could scan all your favorite teams and listen to their crews talking back and forth during the races. And, Yeah, that's still kind of gray line, but this to me is number one. It's usurious. They're charging exorbitant amounts of money for a Baofeng,
Mm-hmm.
and they're taking advantage of people who have no idea that they're doing something illegal. I mean, most people pick up a Baofeng or they pick up an FRS radio, and they go, okay, we buy these in 2 packs at Big Five, and now we get to go talk to each other when we're at Disneyland, and they
Right.
think of these rugged radios as a ruggedized radio that
Right.
they could take four-wheeling and do the same thing.
Right. So real quick to go through the chat because there's a couple of good comments in there. Zach looked up or tried to look for RH5R in the FCC site and can't find any radio with that model number. Not to say it's not. Maybe it's maybe they're just using the UV5R. I don't know. Somebody said exactly. So how is this any different than buying a Baofeng on Amazon? Well, I thought I covered that, but okay. There is no ban, Ethan says, and I think some other people backed him up. And to be clear, it's not that they're Viking Kayak USA. Do they work and do the work, get the license, keep it legal? Well, I can't disagree with that. So yeah, get your license, no question. But to clarify on the ban, quote unquote, when we're talking about the ban, this basically means that companies that import or sell the Baofeng or any radio for that matter must have them locked to the frequencies that they're used in or the frequencies that they have certification for, right? So not really a ban. They're not going to come take your Baofengs, right? That's a joke. That's a joke we like to say. They're not coming for your Baofengs. But they do have to be programmed from the factory/store that sells them to be locked down. So that's what the Baofeng ban means. Patrick Dickey says, he had a comment there, the blue dot channel that you were asking about is MERS. They took over the color channels from the business band. Okay, very helpful. Thank you. Right on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So I don't use MERS, so yeah. Anyway. Okay, so basically we were saying that it's kind of a targeted marketing gig, right? They're going after people that probably don't know better, that are trying to hear what's going on the race they're following, right? They want to listen to the cool race stuff, all that, but they're kind of given a radio that technically you could key it up and then all of a sudden, like you said, you're talking to John Force, right? Hypothetically.
John Force is going to come beat your ass.
Probably. I've heard some stories about that guy. Are they true? Have you met him?
Yeah, he's quite the character.
Yeah, I've heard he's a pretty interesting dude.
Yeah.
So we talked yesterday, and I think this is a good point to make, right? So everybody that's watching us right now, over 300 of you, which is awesome. Thank you so much. You guys are interested in amateur radio. You're using it as something that's interesting to you, something that's fun. And so you care about the little details, doing it legally, whatever. To a lot of people that are buying these radios or kind of targeted for advertisement of these radios, remember, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are not licensed, that are making videos on this radio. They're sending tons of them out to the off-road community. There's a ton of them. Just look up Rugged Radio on YouTube. You'll find a bunch of people, not hams, that are reviewing these. But they're treating it like a tool, right? Radio as like a tool. And if it was just a receiver, right? If you had a little handheld receiver, non-transmitter, like that R30, for example, perfect. It'd be fine. So that's kind of my problem. Where are you at on that one?
I'm in total agreement. Here's what they're doing. They're selling these radios to off-roaders, a lot of off-roaders, and they're becoming more and more popular with those guys. And they'll sell them in the 2-packs or whatever for $150 for 2 of them.
Right.
And these guys are going out under the Rubicon and everything, and they're using these radios either programmed as they are, or they're adding. I know for a fact at the Rubicon, and you and I were just talking about the new repeaters that they just put up there. They're reprogramming some of the frequencies to get out over the Rubicon ham radio frequencies. almost none of these guys are licensed hams that are doing this.
Right. And that's a problem in its own right, and that goes back to them being tool users, right? They're people that see a problem. Here's the tool that solves this problem. Bang, there you go.
Yeah. Now, now you and I were talking before the stream. There was a guy that got killed just like 4 or 5 days ago up in the Rubicon. I guess his party.
Oh, we might have lost Bob. Hang tight. Just when it was getting good. We're coming back, Bob. Hang on. We'll get Bob back. He's probably scrambling right now to get his hotspot up and running. Well, we're waiting for Bob, and I do love this picture of him. It's just frozen in time. We'll leave him there as we scroll through the scroll around a bit. So let's go through some of these systems that they've got. So these are. Let's just pull up the top of the line. This is a $2,100 unit, 60-watt output, has a volume control to split, right, the headset out. Oh, can I click on that? There we go. So you've got a Chinese radio, volume control, mag mount with a coil little whippy thing, the cables to connect in 2 headsets, and also the mag mount antenna. So that's a vertical antenna. And that is $2,116. Pretty expensive. Very expensive. Let's go back here. They've got some other ones I want to show, and we should look at that. So fire and safety kits. Let's check these out. What is this? Oh, this is for intercom. Fire and safety. Fire and safety for race community, not for, like, your home. Marine kits. So here you go. You got a VHF radio Marine for $170. Pretty expensive. Say no to Kilo. What bands are those working on? So a lot of them are UHF only. There is also ones that do VHF and UHF. So they generally recommend the RH5R for their... Whoa, holy smokes. Let's look at this thing. $333 gets you the blue radio, the docking station, motorcycle harness, a PTT button, a helmet kit, and a music cable. And here's the imagery for that. So that's $300 for that setup right there. Wow. So already you can see there's... And again, let me be clear. I don't really have that much of a problem with the company, other than the fact that they should be more open about what is on these radios, that they should be a little bit more honest. I don't mind that they're trying to make a buck. I think that pricing is very high, though, but I also don't know what their effort is in doing this. I mean, they are just reloading a standard image that they just reload it and run and reload it and run, and that's it. Yeah. Yeah, K8 MRD Radio Stuff says, can you just have Bob in like that from now on the streams? Yeah, what happened to Skype? Did we lose him? Can I try and call him back? Let's see if I can call him. Oh, that's loud. Sorry, your ears. Oh, did I get you? I got you back. Oh. Okay. Oh, bummer. How do I bring back that picture I had of you?
Let me see if I could call you.
Yes, once you do that, I'll hang up, you call back. We gotta get a GoFundMe to get Bob some kind of internet access up where he's at. He's got some crazy internet. Alright, let's mute that for a second. Bob may not be dressed when he comes back. Can you lock the transmitter on Baofeng in the programming of these radios? Maybe someone can. So, Gerald, that's a really interesting point. You want me to leave Skype? My Skype is bangarang. I'm off of him. There we go.
Okay.
There we got it.
Okay, are we back?
I think so.
I'm on my crappy internet now.
Okay, crappy internet for the win.
Thank you, AT&T. Yeah, everything just went dark. I
Uh,
thought it was an EMP.
yeah, you have. Whenever you and I try and do a stream, that's that is what happens.
Wow, I could have had a V8
Yeah.
or a vodka cranberry.
There you go. So Gerald Campbell asks, can you lock the transmit on a Baofeng in the programming of these radios? Maybe someone can contact this company and suggest that to them. So they do, but here's the problem. If you can get it into VFO mode or you plug in your own programming cable, then you're right back into doing whatever you want with it. In fact, I don't have one of these in front of me, so I can't really comment. Somebody maybe in the chat can comment. But if that button, this red button here, this guy right here, if this red button is your VFO memory button, then you can tune around on the frequencies to your heart's content.
Yeah, why not?
Let's see. So we covered the users treating it like a tool. So you kind of already talked about using radios in events, right? And particularly your race events.
Yeah.
How is it? Is it any different when you're running like off-road type stuff, right? Like the what do you call that? The bouldering or the rock crawling.
Rock crawling and four-wheeling.
Right.
It's what's different about that is you'll have, say, a group of people, 4 or 5 guys or families, running together, and you're using the radio to communicate back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
You're all in line of sight. You're all, one after another.
Right.
So I know back east, that's where CB is really, really big. No licensing. Who cares if it's only good for a mile?
Right.
Because you're not going to be more than a half mile from each other.
Right.
So, to me, that's a great use for CB or FRS or GMRS, not a commercial radio that's not Part 90 type accepted that you're supposed to have an actual license to use.
Right, for sure. So yeah, I respect what you're saying on that. I pulled up their what's short course? Is that the like dirt track?
Short course is dirt track. It's NASCAR without asphalt.
Oh, nice. Oh, I would like that. So they've got a kit for that too. That'll only set you back $1,000 for their kit on that one. Get yourself some Baofengs.
Yeah, go buy some Baofengs. Either that or you could buy actual Motorola radios.
Yeah.
For about the same price.
Yeah. Real quick, somebody mentioned in the chat they might have hit us up later than, or they came a little bit later. They said, Bob, I didn't know you raced. So let me just show this again. That's Bob's car on the right. And there it is, launching. There's Bob. Bob definitely did race, and he said you said you had a rec, or you were champion for a while, right?
Yeah, I went out I won a national championship.
That's fantastic. Very good. So yes, Bob is a racer. He definitely knows his stuff there. Somebody asked, what's on the clearance tab? So let's go to clearance. All right, what do we got in the clearance? We got a 5-watt Marine Band handheld on sale to you for $120.
Hey.
Digital 16-channel handheld radio VHF for $125.
Oh, it's a DMR radio.
For $125, 16 channels. Yeah. Basically, that's a commercial radio, right? Because it's non-programmable or it must be programmed. You can't do anything with it. There's no keypad.
Yeah, it's like most DMR radios.
I did get the question from Zach. Zach was asking, does anybody use DMR in racing?
No, not that I know of. I mean, and I've been out of it now. I've been out of the professional racing game for a few years, but most people are still using the same radios. These aren't something that that you need to change out all the time. It's something, I mean, I got a cup inside the car that this thing is sitting behind my head.
Right.
I'm all wired in. I've got earplugs and a microphone in the helmet, and then my crew chief and the backer, they both have these. These seal up very, very well, not like a ham radio deal. This has it's a it's a smaller plug. I don't know if you could see that.
Yeah, that's like a Kenwood plug, basically.
But it's smaller than a Kenwood
Oh,
plug. It's made for a Motorola radio, and they're noise canceling. So when there's 120 decibel engine revving right next to the guy, he could talk into the mic, and he could still tell me, you need to steer left, you need to back off, or hammer it. And we actually had codes that we were talking,
right.
because the other teams would sit back and they would listen to our
Sure.
chat.
Yeah, of course, of course. So we don't want to bury the lead. We got you back. You were literally mid conversation about somebody that passed away this last weekend or recently, right? On the Rubicon?
It was about 4 or 5 days ago.
Okay, why don't you wrap up, or go ahead, continue that story, because people are asking in the chat.
Okay, so anyway, this guy evidently flipped over or did something really, really bad, crashed his four-wheeler, and he was trapped in it or under it for, I think, 4 hours. I think he was traveling with two other guys. They couldn't get the thing turned over, very quickly without help, and they had called for help. They couldn't get the guy evacuated out for 4 hours because nobody had communications out that was in their party. I think they waited till somebody that had a ham radio in their rig came by, got on the ham radio on the main Rubicon repeater, called out, which actually reaches down to Sacramento, got help coming, and they got the helicopter and got everything coming. But this guy's already dead by then.
Right. So is that a warning tale of maybe get some good comms in your rigs?
It's it's a tale of get good comms in your rigs, become a ham radio operator if you're gonna do this. The life you could save could be somebody else's.
Right.
But honestly, my point about that was, in that case, I don't care if they've got a rugged radio that's programmed to a ham radio frequency and they get on. That's perfectly legal. That's a life and death situation. Right. Don't need a license.
So here's something I just thought of as we're close to wrapping this up. I think we're going to talk maybe a little bit about the FT3 DR here shortly, because we both got it and we're both probably a little excited about it. Do you think that they might get in trouble with the FCC? I didn't really think about this, because they have GMRS channels programmed on this thing.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, maybe they're just so not on the radar because it's such a small outlet and they're kind of doing their own thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, they're very, very secretive about the licensing thing, about are these Part 90 accepted radios? You would think that they would be if they're selling commercial radios. Mm-hmm. But who knows?
So, guys in the comments, or post in the comments what you think. I'm curious what everybody thinks. Would this qualify as a company potentially opening themselves up to issue with the FCC? I think maybe, right? Because you've got business channels, business frequencies, and then GMRS, right, on the same radio. They're not clear about it except in the writing, right?
And you need that license to operate GMRS too.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a GMRS license, so I don't operate on GMRS. Mm-hmm.
I don't either. Yeah. So yeah, I find the whole thing interesting. I loved this tie-in with Bob being a motorsports enthusiast. And I thought that was perfect. So Bob, we're not heading out yet, but I appreciate you hopping on, because that was a good ad to kind of give you a bit of like reality to the whole thing, right? I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So FT3DR, do you have any initial feelings on it? We let saw your video. I definitely saw your video.
Yeah, I have one right here. Let's see if it'll turn on.
So interesting.
The battery's probably dead.
Yeah, interesting thing. I turned this on at 1 o'clock about today, and I turned my FT2DR on at 1 o'clock right next to it. I tuned them onto the same repeater to receive, and I started squawking out APRS beacons every 5 minutes. I will show you what the battery is on the FT3, and then I'm going to tell you what it is on the... oh, you can't see it because it's... There it is.
There it is.
Over halfway.
It's green.
It's more than where come on. Okay. Anyway, let me just tell you, it's more than 50%. It's probably closer to 70%. The FT2DR, under 40% battery. So this battery, pretty good.
The same battery, because I took the battery out of my FT2 and put it on this.
I mean battery life.
When I did my video.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I meant the battery life. The draw of this is not bad. I don't have Bluetooth turned on because I'm not using Bluetooth, but APRS, GPS on, receiving, local repeater, it's been great. The battery has been going, it's over 50%. It's been running, what now? It's 7:45, running since 1 o'clock.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, mine's been on pretty much all day. Drained the battery, put it on the fast charger, and kicked it up a few hours ago, and it's down to let's see, about three quarters full. I don't know if you could see that with the green screen.
Oh no, you can see yours. Mine's not making it through, but yeah.
Okay.
Somebody commented, is it possibly battery degradation on the FT2? Well, I'm going to switch the batteries tomorrow and see what the change will be, if that's actually the case. If it's just an, that also is the issue, that should be pretty clear once I do that. But so far, pretty good. That's about what I want to see.
Hey, Josh.
Yes.
Did I tell you? I sold my FT2 today.
Ah, that's the hot game.
I'm into this thing for $250 now.
There you go. So you sold it to a buddy for $250, right? Is that
I did.
Okay?
For the 5 guys that are watching, that are in my audience, I sold it to Dr. Ballin.
Oh, there you go. Well, there you go. That's good. Well, that you didn't buy it not too long ago, right? So that's almost a brand new radio.
Oh yeah, I mean, I bought it I think in November, December.
Yeah. So it is a logical upgrade pass to the FT2. It feels just as good as in the hand as the FT2. I may make a video on it, but I feel like the changes are just it's a step up. It's the next thing. It makes sense. Color screen. I think people are too caught up on Bluetooth and ham radio. Do you feel that way?
I think it's a little overrated. I think people want to operate in their car hands free. To me, it's a little bit overrated. Now I can't get my phone to stand up. Oh well. I hooked it up to Bluetooth. As a matter of fact, I tried to get it to hook up to my UE boom, and it sees my boom, but it wouldn't hook up, and I'm pissed.
Which one do you have?
Your boom hooked up.
Yeah, the 2. I have a 2.
I don't know. It's a black UE boom.
You have to turn it into low mode. It can't be high.
I don't know how to do that.
So I'll tell you right now.
Garbage. Throw it away.
Ethan, supposedly you can now use APRS Droid via Bluetooth.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
Okay, so Bluetooth, yeah, it really is a feature here.
Bob and I are going to be like, we got to end this stream right now and go make a video. There's a race. We got to do this right now. Let me go back here. Bluetooth, and you turn it on. So I'm searching for my UE boom again, although it should just find it. It did find it. How did I do that yesterday?
I followed the exact same steps that you did while I was watching your video, and it says, oh yeah, here's Bobby's Boobies. What do I call it? It's Boobies Boom, and I did all the steps, and I hit stop searching. Connect to it. It says connecting, and it never does.
And the ground,
so UE,
electrical panel is on the same wall where the equipment is.
Sounds good too.
But the AC
oh yeah.
ground rod out
No,
is in
that
the back
sounds
of the
good.
house. The feed is in the back of the house. So the only option I really
I'm
have
really
is
impressed by the
way
sound
it's
quality
set
of
up
this thing,
now.
actually. This actually will
And,
blow my mic.
Yeah.
Sorry
I
about
know
that.
what 2 aught
But you know
cable
what?
is, but,
Here's
I don't
I
have
got
any
something you screwed up yesterday.
Uh-oh,
And
here we
it
go.
might be because you were talking at like 1 in the morning.
Maybe.
But you were trying to transmit into your UE boom.
No. I got it. I turned Vox on, and I was using the mic in the UE boom for Vox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't like, what's going on here? This is not working. No, there's a microphone in this because I've used this to take phone calls before.
Can anybody hear me now?
I don't know why we're doing this. This is bad, Bob. This is bad. This is all kinds of bad. No, because I've taken phone calls with this, and it works with. There's a microphone in it, right? That Bluetooth mic, and so I was able to I was keying up the radio with this. So when I said low and high, I was talking about Vox. That was my problem. So yes, it's definitely Vox.
Okay, makes sense.
People want you to go do a thorough review on the FT3DR now.
I'll be working on it. Josh, actually, you were pretty damn good last night. You went through this thing pretty good. Now,
I'm telling you, I know this radio inside and out. I walk into the HRO in Anaheim, and if I'm there and somebody has a problem, they point them at me and say, go talk to him, and I set them up. That's how often I talk about this thing when I'm there.
well, that's good. You are an expert.
Oh, Zach and H Reflex just both said Bluetooth.
Oh, very, very
Bluetooth
cool.
radio. Why are we doing this?
Hey, I did do a 878 video today, and I hooked up my my 878 to the car stereo in the Jeep.
Okay.
So I was talking on ham radio from the Sony car stereo.
And why am I 878? Why am I not picturing that?
The Anytone 878.
Oh yes, of course. So it sounds good. It syncs up good.
It's synced up.
It sunked
perfectly.
it. It sunked it.
It's sunked.
I like it.
Yeah.
So no, I'll go back to my review I did, and there's nothing but reviews of this radio coming out right now. This is a great DMR radio. If you're interested in DMR, this is the best radio to get. It's so loud. It's very good.
I'll tell you what, honestly, guys, as far as an analog radio, it's the loudest, and I've got nothing but great audio reports.
Yeah, for sure.
Analog with it.
Yep.
I mean, better than the FT3.
I definitely agree. Although the speaker is louder on the FT3, which I appreciate.
Not louder than the 878.
Oh no, but nothing is louder than the 878. There's no radio. There's no HT I've ever picked up that is louder than that radio.
There is no radio on the face of the planet that is as loud as the 878.
That radio is very, very loud. So
yeah.
Anyway, so Bob, I think we're gonna start wrapping it up. Is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to talk about? What's going on?
You know what? If you guys haven't been to my channel, come to my channel. I'm a couple of hundred subs away from hitting 20,000 subscribers, and that's the magic number for me to be able to give away an Anytone 878. Well,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's the stipulation, is you will give that radio away when you hit 20,000.
Yes. So
I like it.
Go over there, hit the subscribe and that little bell notification, and do it to Josh's too if you haven't already done it, because subscriptions mean nothing in YouTube language anymore.
No, yeah. Subscriptions don't mean anything. You got to click the bell.
Yeah. So anyway, do that. Get me over 20,000, guys, please.
I like it. I like it very much. Yeah, so you also posted a pretty interesting video on the FT3. Always with the ham radio hate, Bob, right? You can't dodge it if you tried.
I am the most hated man in ham radio, I think.
It is so interesting. You put up an impassioned video about a radio that you're excited to get, and people are like, it's too long. Everything's bad. I hate everything.
It's like, why are you showing a damn knife?
I don't know, man. Everybody is a critic, but sorry, I probably killed my audio there. I went real loud. Sorry about that. But yeah, excellent. This has been a lot of fun, Bob. We got to think of another topic to have you back so we can do this again.
Dude, this is awesome. This was the highlight. I don't even mind missing my local ham club meeting tonight.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's very nice. And you got to hang out with 320 something people or so. That's probably bigger than your ham club.
Bigger than my ham club, probably bigger than my audience, dude.
Excellent. Well, guys, you know what? I got to do my spiel here. Real quick. Bob, hang on the line. We'll talk in a second. Got to say thank you to the patrons for making this happen. It really is through your support, all of your support, even the people that are clicking the thumbs up button. This is just, keeps the whole thing going, and it's been amazing, and I thank you very much for that. So thank you very much to Chris Ebert, Jason Brown, Jason Siebert, David Dancero, Danny Miller, Weslin Magyar, Barbara Schrock, Will Ladd, not William Ladd, I'm thinking of the radio DJ, or is he in music? Franklin Lewis, Brad Snyder, Dennis Dunderdale, Garrett Larson, Jonathan Franson, AD6DM Dennis, Wyoming Ham. By the way, Wyoming Ham, love it. I'll get this in the mail to you in a little bit, although I will take your message and I'll think about doing another Versus video. So thank you for that. Randall Hinsley, Dennis Mickelson, George Gaini, Andy, Kenny Miyamoto, Ron Thorson, Ken Hall, Corey Vuelta, that's it. Mr. Mode, Devin B. Hedge, Mark Chase, Raymond Cracker, Geraldo Kelso, Rob K8BCR, got your call sign in there now, buddy. You got upgraded recently. That's awesome. Lee Harrell, Michael Kearney, Stephen Barker, Corey Sheldon, Brad Nadow, Stephen Hunt, Brian Nosowitz, Connard Carroll, new patron, Mike Marusin, I believe new too, and Mike Hurley. I hope it's Hurley. If it's not, tell me how to say it properly. Oh, damn, I screwed up name. Vuelta. Got it. Thank you, and I apologize, Corey. I'm sure you're going to give me hell in Discord. By the way, speaking of Discord, we're going to go there right now, so if you're interested in an after chat, Bob may be stopping by too. We talk about all kinds of ham radio stuff. It can get a little bit more risque than what you're watching right now for sure, so you might be interested. Come join us, won't you? All right, give me a thumbs up and a sub, and I'd appreciate it. Bob's laughing in the background. I can hear him. All right, guys, take it easy. See ya.